We will begin our commemoration ceremony in a few minutes with 1 minute of silence, which will be followed by the ambassador of Rwanda, and which will be followed by the Rwandan students who will share a message of remembrance. We will then watch a short video of messages of hope delivered by 5 African ambassadors. Thank you.
This is the light of remembrance, the light of life.
Imitima igasubira mu nda, imitima igasubira mu bitereko. Turibuka, turiho turumwe, turiyubaka. Tururumuri rutazima yemwe, urumuri rw'u Rwanda, n'urwanjye nawe. N'urumuri rutazima yemwe,
has never died. And today, this spirit leads us into a brighter future.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's please rise to observe 1 minute of silence in honor of our loved ones, the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Thank you. You may please be seated. His Excellency, the Ambassador of Rwanda, to light the first candle, the very symbol of hope and rebirth. May we all spread this light, and may it give us the resilience we need to heal and preserve unity.
Kwibuka ni intwaro yo kwigira kwacu nk'Abanyarwanda. Ni igihango dufitanye n'abacu twabuze ko tutazemera ko bazima. We remember not because we hold grudges amongst us, but because we are reminded that what unifies us is far much stronger than what divides us.
We, the post-genocide generation, stand firm with the past in our hearts, never letting it happen again as we strive for a brighter future. Lessons we learned as Rwandans will never be wasted through the years. We will become much more stronger and better.
And to protect the legacy of our beloved country for generations to come. Kwibuka is a reminder of how far we've come and a driving force to push us to build a better Rwanda every day. Thank you.
When we remember the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, we're not just remembering the grandparents and uncles we never got time to spend with. We're also remembering the systemic historical structures that caused the genocide in the first place. We remember the failure of the international community, including the United Nations. We remember everything as a way of preserving the memories of those we lost and hold ourselves and the international community accountable to make sure that what happened in Rwanda never happens again in Rwanda or in Africa or elsewhere in the world. As a post-genocide generation, we are committed to fully fighting genocide ideology and revisionism. We are committed to creating spaces for survivors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and preserving the peace that our country has achieved for the past 28 years. Thank you.
I want to light this candle in remembrance of those people who were lost in 1994 in Rwanda and the genocide that happened there. I want to light this candle for those people who were killed and lost their lives, and the parts of us that were killed as people in humanity to allow these things to happen. I want to light this candle in remembrance of the many women who died, and also the women and daughters of women who were raped during that time, so that we can remember that we need to stand up and step in, because as they were raped, so we are in our souls. I want to light this candle in hope, with the hope that things like this will never happen again, with the hope that those souls who have passed and those souls who have been scarred will move upward towards the light.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now an honor to welcome, to invite our projection team to project a series of videos that will feature 5 African ambassadors.
It is indeed a great honor for my country, Ghana, and my person to be invited for a brief statement in solidarity with the government and people of the Republic of Rwanda as it journeys on a path of remembrance, reflection, and perseverance from one of the darkest chapters in the human history to a stardom status in the community of nations. As horrific as the genocide may be, the determination and resilience of the government and the people of Rwanda today in pursuing national reconciliation, social justice, and nation building has resulted in the country becoming a global blueprint for the attainment of world peace, social progress, and development aspirations. On this solemn occasion, we continue to affirm our unflinching support to the government and people of Rwanda for the pursuit of the above-mentioned ever-cherished international ideals, values, and goals. Long live the Republic of Rwanda, long live Rwanda-Ghana relations, and long live Rwanda-African relations. I thank you.
On the 28th anniversary of the tragic events that unfolded in 1994, we stand all together to commemorate the men, women, and children who were targeted and murdered during 100 days of genocidal violence. We grieve for the lives lost during this period and stand with the survivors who bore witness to these crimes. Each year, we are also reminded of the incredible strength and resilience of the Rwandan people. We stand with the people and the government of Rwanda in their efforts to overcome such terrible dark moment. We join in remembering the victims and reaffirming our support for the people of Rwanda in their continued efforts for unity and renewal. We remain steadfast in supporting the peace and prosperity of the Rwandan people. Thank you for allowing me such opportunity to join you on this solemn day, which give us the opportunity to remember the victims of the genocide, to unite in upholding our common humanity, and to renew our commitment to protecting peace, security, stability, and prosperity in our African continent. Thank you.
My dear brother Ambassador Francois, I'm very pleased to commend the Embassy of Rwanda in Qatar for organizing this year commemorations event. I would like to add my voice to extend our solidarity to the victims and survivors of one of the darkest chapters that took place in our continent. The Republic of Mozambique is in line with the 1948 United Nations Convention on Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. And so, we strongly condemn all forms of crime against a group of people based on their ethnicity, race, or religion. We have learned that the annual Reflections Day is indeed a reminder of our common humanity and the commitment to protect and respect the inherent dignity of every human being to prevent such atrocities from happening again elsewhere. In fact, the reflection on genocide in Rwanda, it's a unique way to demonstrate that it is possible to rise from the ashes to heal and to rebuild a stronger and more sustainable society. In this regard, I would like to congratulate the people and the government of the sister country of Republic of Rwanda in their efforts to promote peace and harmony that is leading to high levels of sustainable development that we are witnessing towards a well-being and brighter future to all Rwandese people. May God bless the people and the leadership of Rwanda. I thank you for your attention, Excellency. Thank you.
On 7th of April 1994, it was the beginning of the untold atrocities and systematic massacre against the Tutsi in Rwanda. This happened beside the fact that member of the United Nations way back in 1948 had approved a UN Convention against genocide. Today, as we mark and reflect, the Embassy of Tanzania, the Tanzanians in Qatar, and Tanzania all over the world join hands with the Rwandese and the international community in these reflections. Tanzanians salute the government and people of Rwanda for the spirit of forgiveness, for their resilience, and for their unity that they have shown over the years. Indeed, the spirit of Kwibuka, that is forgiveness, courage, and unity, is all obvious to see for anyone visiting Rwanda today. It is our sincere hope that we use this opportunity to renew our commitment in making sure that no other genocide happen, not only in Rwanda, but anywhere in the world. I thank you.
Together, we pay tribute to the 1 million people who were murdered in just 100 days in 1994, the overwhelming majority Tutsi, but moderate Hutu and others who opposed the genocide too. We honor their memory. We stand in awe of the resilience of the survivors, and we reflect on our failures as an international community. The genocide was neither an accident nor unavoidable. It was deliberate, systematic, and carried out in broad daylight. No one who followed world affairs or watched the news could deny the sickening violence taking place. Yet, too few spoke out, and fewer still tried to intervene. Much more could have and should have been done. A generation after the events, the stain of shame endures. As we remember the bloodshed 28 years ago, we recognize that we always have a choice. To choose humanity over hatred, compassion over cruelty, courage over complacency, and reconciliation over rage.
Le génocide des Tutsis au Rwanda est sans conteste l'une des pages les plus sombres de notre époque. C'est avec une vive émotion que l'Union africaine s'est jointe au peuple rwandais pour la commémoration du 25e anniversaire de cet indicible crime. Émotion du fait de l'ampleur de la tragédie et de la cruauté qui a marqué chacun des actes de cette entreprise savamment préméditée, planifiée et exécutée. Émotion parce que chaque commémoration est un triste rappel de l'horreur endurée par les victimes, de la souffrance des survivants et de la profondeur de l'impact du génocide. Loin de se laisser aller au découragement, le Rwanda s'est employé à tirer les leçons de cette tragique phase de son histoire pour se relever, jeter les bases d'une société réconciliée avec elle-même et promouvoir son développement. Les résultats obtenus sont plus que remarquables. Ils ont été rendus possibles grâce à la résilience du peuple rwandais et à la vision de ses dirigeants.
We are a small country, but we are big on justice. And some of those are big and powerful countries, but they are very small on justice. They have no lessons to teach anyone because they are part of this history that saw over 1 million of our people perish. The very reasons that what we suffered, what we endured here, originated from there, is the reason they cannot give us peace. They want to cover up their responsibility. They want to cover up their silence when the millions of people here in Rwanda needed them to speak up, to come to their help.
On a vraiment voulu nous exterminer, on a voulu vraiment effacer toute trace que nous avons existé. Nous, quand nous nous souvenons, nous les reformons, nous les ramenons en vie.
Ils ne sont plus là, mais ils ne sont pas morts, ils sont en moi. Ils vivent en moi.
Le futur est bon et on doit y tenir, et surtout pour nos enfants et surtout pour les générations.
C'est ma raison de vivre. C'est ma raison de vivre au Kibuka.
I would like to welcome the Ambassador of Rwanda.
Your Excellency, Dr. Mohammed bin Abdulaziz Al Khulaifi, Assistant Foreign Minister for Regional Affairs. Your Excellency, Ambassador Abdullah Hussein Mohammed, Director of Africa Department. Excellencies, dear ambassadors, dear friends of Rwanda, fellow Rwandans, ladies and gentlemen, On behalf of the government of Rwanda, on behalf of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, let me start by thanking you all for honoring our invitation to the 28th commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. Rwanda started the 28th commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi last week on Thursday, 7th April. Today marks the last official day of our week of commemoration. However, the commemoration events continue in the country and all over the world as we are doing it here. Excellencies, your presence at these ceremonies alongside our brothers and sisters from our community is a testimony of friendship and solidarity during this period. Today, we pay tribute to the Rwandans who have experienced the worst of humanity, the unspeakable tragedy of the genocide against the Tutsi. This is the third time that the Embassy of Rwanda in Qatar and Friends of Rwanda commemorate this day. But today is special because it is the first time that we have gathered physically together, as the previous commemorations were held virtually due to COVID restrictions in Qatar and all over the world. 28 years ago, thousands and thousands of children, women, men were denied the chance to live. 1 million lives were slaughtered in 100 days because they were born Tutsi. We also pay tribute to the Rwandan Patriotic Front's soldiers and dissident commander, Major General Paul Kagame, who stopped the genocide in July 1994 while the UN peacekeeping mission on the ground and the international community as a whole were looking on. Yet, it is important to note that African brothers played a commendable role during this period. We remember the Ghanaian contingent who saved hundreds of Tutsis as their forces refused to abandon Rwandans when the UN peacekeeping mission was reducing its presence in Rwanda. We will forever remain grateful to late Captain Mbaye Diagne from Senegal, who lost his life trying to save hundreds of Tutsis. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, dear friends of Rwanda, Kwibuka is a Kinyarwanda verb which means to remember. We remember, turibuka. We remember our loved ones, parents, brothers and sisters, nephews and nieces who perished in 100 days, and we remember the survivors whose lives will never be the same. Kwibuka should always remain the humanity duty. Turibuka because we want to act on lessons learned. Turibuka because we must keep fighting against impunity and genocide deniers. Turibuka because we want to bring the perpetrators of the genocide and genocide deniers to justice. Turibuka and honors the victim of genocide because it is critical for the healing process of our nation. And as one of the survivors mentioned it in the video you've just watched, ils ne sont plus là, mais ils vivent en moi. Kwibuka, c'est ma raison de vivre. Kwibuka, c'est ma raison de vivre. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in April 2014, the United Nations Security Council unanimously adopted Resolution 2150, in which the Security Council resolutions confirmed that the 1994 genocide in Rwanda will be referred to globally as the genocide against the Tutsi and condemned without any reservation, any denial of the genocide. This was followed in January 2018 by the UN General Assembly unanimously adopting a decision designating 7th April as the International Day of Reflection on the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. However, how can we explain that 28 years later we are still witnessing the revisionism and denial of the genocide against the Tutsi? How can we talk about justice for the survivors when some of the masterminds of the genocide are still at liberty in Africa, Europe, and North America? We must send a unified and strong message to these perpetrators who should know that nothing will stop us to deliver justice to the survivors. These perpetrators must be held accountable. Excellencies, dear ambassadors, this is not to say that nothing has been done, and we hereby wish to commend friendly nations and international organizations that have been supporting the government of Rwanda efforts to bring the genocide deniers to justice. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are proud of the new Rwanda rebuilt in the last 2 decades. Rwanda has prospered as a nation by pushing first its Vision 2020 and now the National Strategy for Transformation, as well as the Vision 2050. This is thanks to the resilience of the Rwandan people, the resilience of the survivors who were able to join hands and unite in this reconstruction process of our nation. You will be pleased to hear that Rwanda is also supporting peace and security on the continent. Since 2004, Rwanda contributed peacekeeping forces to the United Nations and African Union missions, mainly in Sudan, South Sudan, and the Central African Republic. Today, Rwanda is ranked among the top 5 contributing troops at the UN. Our nation continues to play a crucial role in the stabilization of peace in Mozambique and Central African Republic. Excellencies, fellow Rwandans, as I conclude, let me reiterate our sincere appreciation and gratitude for your invaluable support during this commemoration period. Let's hope that the international community goes beyond the rhetoric of never again. Let's keep alive the flame of memory and hope. Hope of a brighter future for younger generations in Rwanda and Africa. Twibuke, twiyubaka. I thank you for your kind attention.